We are continuing to keep an eye on developments within the INDIA opposition as the Ram Mandir inauguration date comes closer and closer. We've now got statements, official and unofficial, from the CPIM, the TMC and the SP, but the Congress remains mum on whether they'll be attending or not. Why does it matter so much? Because how the Congress and indeed several key INDIA alliance members decide to attend this, how they decide to answer this question, will give us crucial inklings on not just how they're going to navigate several big questions in 2024, but also how they'll navigate their own unity in their differing ideals. As Hindi heartland states in particular look on with great interest, we ask tonight, what is the Congress's real stand regarding this pivotal issue? Let's take a look.
India is for everybody. It is in our constitution. You got to respect all religion. If you want to celebrate, more power to you. I have no issue with it. But do not politicize religion.
I think this kind of sort of putting the Congress leadership in a box and saying, if you go, that means you are playing into the BJP's hands. If you don't go, that means you're anti-Hindu. I mean, this kind of thing is nonsense. What are we supposed to do?
And राम मंदिर जेवढं एकच निमित्त घेऊन जनतेमध्ये काही वेगळं मत तयार करण्याचा त्यांचा प्रयत्न आहे यापेक्षा दुसरं काही दिसत.
तो हम क्या बैठे हैं क्या इन्विटेशन का इंतजार करके? जब उनका बीजेपी का प्रोग्राम खत्म हो जाएगा तो हम जाएंगे राम लल्ला का दर्शन करने.
जिन नेताओं को बुलाना जाना चाहिए, जिन नेताओं को नहीं बुलाया जाना चाहिए, ये भी एक पार्टी विशेष तय कर रही है. हम इस पर अपना अफसोस जाहिर कर रहे हैं. हमारी पार्टी को अगर निमंत्रण मिला तो हम इसमें अवश्य हिस्सा लेंगे.
तारीख को जिनको निमंत्रण मिला है वो तो अवश्य जाएं, लेकिन उसके बाद आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जब अलग अलग दिनों में खुलेगा तो उस पर जाना चाहिए. पहले दिन ज़्यादा भीड़ ना हो क्योंकि वहाँ पे कार्यक्रम होगा.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी जिनके कारण से आज अयोध्या में श्री रामलला की जन्मभूमि पर भव्य मंदिर का निर्माण हो रहा है, जिसकी प्रतीक्षा या जिसकी लड़ाई, जिस बड़ी लड़ाई छोटी लड़ाई यह 500 साल से चल रही है, वह 500 साल की लड़ाई का परिणाम या 22 जनवरी को जब रामलला अपने जन्मस्थान पर विराजमान हो जाएंगे, वह पूरे देश के दुनिया के राम भक्तों को प्राप्त हो जाएगा.
Hello, Moto.
To bring us more context on exactly that, we have senior Congress leader, former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, T.S. Singh Deo, who's with us right now. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on CNN News 18 and for taking out the time for this conversation. Sir, we're going to keep it quick with you. We just want to understand some of your context as to how you're looking at all of these developments. Sir, first question for you. What are the Congress's plans? Is the Congress going to be attending the ceremony on the 22nd?
Unfortunately, the issue of Sri Ram, Bhagwan Ram, has been made into a political matter. And that is why all this is being asked about or talked about. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about really of going to a temple where Ramji is idolized. He is sitting. So the whole matter is that just before the elections, an incomplete temple where the first floor hasn't been cast, where the second floor hasn't been cast, or part of the first and second floor are to be cast in 2024 and 2025. There is an unseemly hurry to take political mileage from a program of, let us say, starting the temple, the Pran Pratishtha. So the matter has been made political. There is nothing, there must be nothing political about visiting a temple where there is an idol of Bhagwan Ram. So that is the whole issue. If it is being made into a political show, then reactions will be political.
Sure.
Had it been just a religious matter, I don't think anybody would have been talking about it even. Everybody would want to go at their convenience or at an appropriate auspicious time. And many thousands and lakhs and crores would be visiting the temple.
Absolutely. So, sir, I do want to ask you though, what does that mean? Is that a yes or a no, sir? I'm only asking you because we've had other alliance partners of yours come out and do exactly that, give a yes or a no. CPIM, for example, we were just telling our audiences from the Samajwadi Party, Dimple Yadav seeming like it is a yes from them. So, what is the Congress's stance?
I won't be able to talk on behalf of the Congress. For one, I'm not an invitee, and I'm sure crores of Congress persons will be visiting the temple.
Okay.
Why is it so important to visit it on that particular day?
Okay.
The organizer has asked, in fact, the people not to come in large numbers. So it's been made into a sort of a show that some people have been asked to come and attend. It's become that sort of a thing.
Okay.
It's far removed from the religious aspect.
Mr. Deo, sir, can I just ask you one more question though? We've seen statements come in yesterday morning from Sam Pitroda. In the later, a few hours after that, we saw the Congress MP Shashi Tharoor put out a statement. I understand that your point is that you are not the spokesperson, the formal spokesperson. Why doesn't the Congress put out a concrete statement saying exactly what you just said?
I'm sure they would, because the matter has been politicized. The matter is entirely political now rather than religious. Had it been just religious, there would have been no question of yes or no. Everybody would like to go. But since it is a matter of a show before the Lok Sabha elections, people will think and give their answer. Some have said yes, some have said no.
Okay. Sir, I'll just ask you two more questions. Sir, there's a outfit in Kerala that is closely aligned with your ally, the IUML in Kerala. They in particular are asking, what is the Congress's answer? Give us some sense of direction. In fact, they've said, and I'm going to quote here, the Congress stand that the party can attend the ceremony is only meant to prevent depletion of Hindu votes in North India. It's this soft Hindutva approach of the Congress that has taken the party to the present situation. Sir, any direction, any sense of direction to your allies here?
It is not a matter of soft Hindutva, because Congress very clearly has stated on many occasions, the topmost leadership, that Congress is a secular thinking party, and it will always remain a completely secular thinking party. And secularism for me is what Swami Vivekananda said, that I accept all religions. I have reached the realization of Brahm, he said, by following the paths of every religion. Ram Krishna ji said, tolerate all religions. His disciple Vivekananda ji said, accept all religions. So that for me is secularism, and that for me is the way one should live in this society, in the world.
Okay, sir, can I ask you, our reporters who were covering the INDIA meeting that took place very recently, they said that there was this understanding that when it came to the Ram Mandir issue, there was a need to set the narrative, to set the agenda from the beginning. Is the announcement of the Nyaya Yatra yesterday, the fact that we can expect that the Yatra will be somewhere in the northeast when this is taking place, is that the Congress attempt to set the narrative during the Ram Mandir inauguration?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because this invitation is for a very limited number of people. It is not for Congress persons, it is not for BJP persons, it is not for any other party person or members of the community, Indian community, this country's community. It is for a very select few people. So any other program, there was a lot of suggestions being put up to Rahul ji to have this next phase of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which eventually he has decided to go ahead with. I don't see any connection, because there would not be common people attending or being asked to attend or being invited to either of the events.
Okay. And so I do want to ask you, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Sonia Gandhi, these are leaders who have been personally invited for this. Could we see, because you did say a statement is incoming, it will happen. When could we see that statement by, sir, from the Congress, just making clear their stance?
22nd of Jan is a far way off. We'll enter into the new year, and I think when matters become politically ticklish, people would like to respond in a balanced sort of a way. People will not be allowed to take political mileage of one statement or the other, which is the attempt. The entire issue of Bhagwan Ram has unfortunately been reduced to a political stance. It's so sad. So very sad.
Sir, I do want to ask you, even right now, the 3 days we've seen that have passed since the CPIM made that statement, even this is being looked at by the BJP as dilly-dallying. Now, of course, you don't need to decide your terms based on what the BJP says, sir, but no sense of indication here, no weather vane, so that we understand here, even in our newsrooms, which way the Congress may lean?
We should wait and watch. If people are being wily, let the Congress also think and take its stand.
Okay. And sir, then to your alliance partners, for example, in Kerala, who are saying that it's exactly this dithering that has cost the Congress its popularity, what would you say, sir?
I don't think so. I don't think so. There are many issues because of which the Congress has got a lesser number of seats. And I know that things will change over time. And people will be able to call as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned in times to come. So there are different issues.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much for taking out the time to speak to CNN News 18.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got to hear now from a key Congress voice, but let's analyze their response. Let's speak to their allies. Dr. Kaushal Kant, spokesperson for the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party and ally in the INDIA of the Congress, and Professor Sangeet Kumar Ragi, a columnist. All of them are with us tonight. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on the show. All right, I'm going to take my first question to Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. He's a spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party. Mr. Tiwari, sir, before we go ahead, since the issue on hand is the Ram Mandir and the inauguration, let me just ask you, sir. Dimple Yadav has said that if an invitation was given, the Samajwadi Party will attend. Can I take that as the Samajwadi Party's official stance?
Good evening to you, the viewers and fellow co-panelists, Toya. Three things are important. One is that we have always held that our religion, our faith is a personal choice, and it has to be exercised with the personal freedom. And to that extent, every one of us hold our faith in the same way, except Bharatiya Janata Party. Nobody goes around brandishing their faith for political propaganda. And what Dimple ji has said is a stand for anybody who respects their own faith and who respects their faith.
Okay, sir. So that is a yes?
Yes. If anyone is invited, it is part of their faith. They will go to a temple at the point that they would like to go to. And I don't think that any party issues a whip to people. BJP would want to issue a diktat to everyone in India when they should get up, which temple they should go to, what should they wear, who should they go out with, what should they eat. But no political party in India issues a whip on who should go to a temple and who should not.
Okay,
Have you heard any such whip?
Let me get a quick word, sir, and to answer to you. I have not heard any whip, but let me go over to each of our other two guests. To get a clear word from both of them, I want to get a quick sentiment first, a sentiment check, then we'll come to each of you for deeper questions. Let's go over to Professor Sangeet Kumar Ragi. Sir, you've heard the interview that we just saw play out with T.S. Singh Deo, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. He's a senior Congress leader. And it's interesting because we took that question to him a few times. What is the Congress's stance? Are they attending? Are they not attending? We also said, look, because at this point you have a few associates of allies, questions out there about what the answer is here from the Congress. There's a big question mark on it. But no answer coming in. He said, we'll take our time. How do you see this?
Let me dismantle first that your religious or your caste identity is both individual and collective. When does it slips into the collective identity, you don't know. So Akhilesh Yadav has a particular caste, he belongs to a Yadav community, and then he invokes, the moment he invokes the caste identity, it becomes a collective identity. So first, I think that the answer that has come from Ghanshyam Tiwari is false. Number two, I think that the Congress is under tremendous pressure, and so is Samajwadi Party. All the political parties, non-BJP political formations are competing against each other to consolidate and polarize the Muslim vote bank. The problem with the Congress party is that it doesn't have to respond to itself. It doesn't have to respond to its core ideology. It has to respond to its allies' ideology. The moment Congress takes a side, or goes even for the soft Hindutva, you must have heard its ally in Kerala is asking the question and putting this question that, look, you have experimented with soft Hindutva, you failed bitterly in 2019 elections. Similarly, other allies would, what it happened, what is the reason behind this stoic silence of the Congress party that Swami Prasad Maurya is, went against Goswami Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas, questioning the whole scripture, and the Congress party maintained a stoic silence. So is the case with Lalu Prasad Yadav minister. There, from somebody from the RJD, somebody from, forget about that. Even Mallikarjun Kharge's son is questioning the Indian scriptures, and the Congress party doesn't muster courage to respond to them. So Congress party is basically under dilemma. You will be seeing it is in a case of, the dilemma is of where to go, what is the direction, what will be the direction of the Congress party. And it finds that it is completely in a state of dereliction, dereliction in the sense that it doesn't have any kind of idea which way it has to go. At least Samajwadi party knows that it has to consolidate the Muslim and there is a one community, Yadav community, and the Muslim community they have to mobilize. But the Congress party as a national party doesn't know which constituents of the social community it has to mobilize and in which state. And that is why you will finding that Ram Mandir movement has always been a part of, from Palampur onward, it has been on the agenda of the BJP. Congress has been asking again and again, when are you declaring the date for construction of the Ram?
Let me just ask you just to wait with us for a second. I want to go over right now to Dr. Kaushal Kant Mishra. He's from the BJP. Sir, I want to ask you, one of the points that Shashi Tharoor made yesterday was he said, look, we do want to go to the Ram Mandir and we will go, but why do we need to go on this date? We'll go when the Shor Sharaba is done, essentially. He said when the celebration is done, we'll go on our own terms. You had a similar statement right now come in the interview we conducted with T.S. Singh Deo. What was the need to go in the political event? We'll go in our own timeline. Now, the reason I'm asking you this, Dr. Kant, is because every time we've spoken to the BJP, they've said that the Congress is confused. They're all over the place. But I want to ask you, sir, this seems like a pretty pointed response. They're saying we will come. We do respect it. We just won't come at the political point. So what do you have to make of it?
Toya, actually Congress is always against the Hindutva, and they don't know what is the significance of Muhurat. The Muhurat which is there for few seconds only. That is important. They don't know anything about Hindutva. They don't know anything about how the Muhurat comes and how much importance it has got. Even the T.S. Singh Deo itself is saying when the people feel that time is correct, then they will come. But here the time is best for Ram temple, and that is the Muhurat. The Congress will never understand why the Muhurat is important, because they are Chunavi Hindu, not the real Hindu. This is one. Two, the Congress leader you asked the question about the Kerala IUML was asking. Congress has opened one shop, what they call Mohabbat Ki Dukaan. And in that Mohabbat Ki Dukaan, one salesman of IUML is there, and what they say, kill Hindus and hang them in their temples. This is their salesman in Mohabbat Ki Dukaan. And that is why Congress is confused, because they don't know what to do. Yes, at least Samajwadi is clear that to whom they should address. They are addressing, they have decided that they will come to the event. At least they know little bit. But Congress is totally confused.
Okay, sir, I didn't understand your IUML example, but sir, one second. Doctor, I do want to understand from you. One sec. If you could just give me a succinct answer here to 1 second. When you have Shashi Tharoor, for example, saying, I'll come at a different moment, I do want to come. And Shashi Tharoor, and frankly, we're going to bring up the list of Congress leaders that have been quite open about their leanings, their practicing of the religion. What is wrong with them saying this, sir? You're saying they're not respecting the Muharram. But beyond that, sir, what else?
That is what is most important. This event, this Muhurat is comes for after 500 years. in the history of India
I can give you
for the Ram temple.
Can
So
I
that
give
is
you?
the best Muhurat, and those who are true Hindu, they should come. And yes, they can come in later, because right now if they come, it become a public event, political event, and their vote bank will get little bit destroyed about that. That is the main thing. That is why they are not coming, and they are not clear, and they are confused. This is the main point.
Okay, all right. Let's go over to Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. Mr. Tiwari, I'm sorry. Sir, we'll come back to you in 1 second. Mr. Tiwari had his finger up. Mr. Tiwari, I do want to ask you here, and I know we're asking you about an ally, but I do want to understand, sir. It's important to point out, Kamal Nath sent 12 silver bricks for the building of the Ram Mandir. It's not just him. Digvijay Singh's been very, very open. And I'm talking about two key Madhya Pradesh leaders here when I bring their names up. Digvijay Singh went as far as to say that Sonia Gandhi or someone from the senior leadership will 100% attend. And he said this as recently as yesterday, Wednesday. So I just want to understand from you, Mr. Tiwari, do you as an ally get frustrated when you have senior key leaders like the ones I've just named hinting very, very warmly that they are going to attend, but then still a lack of clarity seemingly from the party?
There are two things, Toya, here. One, that do you think my faith, your faith, Professor Sangeet Ragi's faith, or Dr. Mishra's faith is a matter of national agenda? Or, in contrast, do you think Manipur is a matter of national agenda? That 140 members of parliament were thrown out of parliament. Laws were passed that Kaushal Mishra cannot defend here, cannot even repeat here. That's the level of lack of knowledge that exists across the country about the laws that were passed in the current parliament session. Professor Sangeet Ragi, a remarkable professor in Delhi University, cannot repeat the laws that were passed in this parliament session because they were not discussed, they were not publicly debated. Is that a matter of national agenda? Whether my faith is a matter of national agenda, or whether Manipur is, whether those laws is, whether Kashmir is, or whether fact that there are reports getting
Mr.
published
Tiwari,
that one
sir,
out of two.
One second, let me just come back to you. I'm not going to
stop.
stop you from speaking. I want to come back to you with a counter question here, sir. I have not at any point, and I don't think anyone here would disagree with me, that no one at any point is saying Manipur, unemployment, inflation, key economic issues, these aren't important issues that need to be discussed. But sir, one thing that India has been very clear on, and come in here with your own perspective, is that we practice our secularism by practicing and celebrating our religions. We're different, for example, from a France where there is that separation. So sir, if there is this celebration taking place where you do have key leaders coming across, what is the harm, sir?
There's no harm. I'm just saying that my faith is not national agenda, but these national agenda are not the agenda of Bharatiya Janata Party for 2024.
But I'm not, one second, I'm not at all saying, sir, one second, I'm not saying your faith, I am not saying, Mr. Tiwari, sir, I will let you answer, but I'm, one second, please don't misquote me, sir. I'm not saying,
you asked a three-sentence question and you do not have the patience to hear 3 words.
Sir, please don't question my patience, sir. I have the patience to hear you, but what I'm not understanding, sir, no one's questioning your personal faith or the faith of the Congress, sir. We're asking...
Can you allow me to complete? Please.
Sir, go ahead. But where the separation you're trying to make, I'm not... you can repeat
yourself.
You
may not understand, but I'm speaking to your viewers. It's not a mutual persuasion project.
Sure,
right?
go ahead, sir.
To speak to your viewers. That I'm saying that, look, one, as Professor Sangeet Ragi, who knows RSS in and out, he said that caste is part of your social identity.
Sure.
And the Chief Minister of BJP is saying to 80% of Indians who are from Shudra Varna, saying that you are meant to serve Brahmins, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. That is what Manusmriti says, and that is the agenda of Bharatiya Janata Party. The rest of the India believes in constitution. So for BJP, the Mandir project, this ability to create a blind devotion, whether your career may not be important, where the fact that their brand ambassador is Braj Bhushan Singh in the Ramayana of 2024, where every girl has to fear about the kind of person they are going to meet in their pursuit of career, even if that career is illustrious to get India Olympic medals. That is the Ramayana BJP is building. All I am saying is we at India Alliance don't see this as a national agenda. We see the agenda of jobs. We see the agenda of dismantling of parliamentary structure. We see the agenda of a burning Manipur where the Prime Minister is afraid to go, where a Kargil war hero's wife was paraded naked and yet the Prime Minister did not show courage to visit. We see a national agenda of Kashmir which is unsettled right now, and we term that as national agenda. If you want me to answer about what my allies are feeling about, you can ask me about the national agenda that we are constructing. If you ask me that whether Kamal Nath ji's faith is of the kind of brand of Hindutva that BJP wants, or whether Digvijay Singh's faith is the brand of Hindutva that BJP wants, I don't know. That is their faith. I practice my faith in the way I want to. They practice their faith in they want. Only BJP wants blinded faith in this country, where Braj Bhushan is the new ambassador of Ram, where jobs are not important, where burning Manipur and a dismantled parliament is not important.
Okay, but sir, on this show, over the last few days, we have brought up and we have had entire debates around, for example, the wrestlers that you're talking about, the women and their comments, BJP's treatment of them. We've talked about all of that, sir. We've also talked about Manipur. So when you are talking about national agenda, I do believe that there is place for example, a Ram Mandir. As much, sir. So, but that doesn't matter, sir. You're not answerable on this show. So you're not answerable on this show to the BJP. You're answerable to us, your audiences. Yes. That's why I'm asking you, sir.
So you are saying that because you had discussed this and you think this is national agenda, I think it is national agenda, but BJP does not think. BJP, whole and soul, BJP, RSS today bat with Braj Bhushan Singh. The man is accused of molesting and assaulting 1,000 women. This is on live camera. Do you think that over here, Kaushal Mishra feels ashamed that Braj Bhushan Singh is their member of parliament, or Professor Sangeet Ragi, with all the credentials of a professor and RSS expert, feels ashamed that somebody like Braj Bhushan Singh is the ambassador for BJP in this Ramayana of 2024? They don't. He is a symbol of pride. So Mr. For
Tiwari,
BJP,
so I must tell you.
So
one second, I must tell you. While I respect you questioning, one second, you have to let me speak too. I am the anchor after all, sir. I do respect you asking these questions of the BJP. I promise you, we've done that every single other day. But it is also important to talk about issues that are of national agenda that aren't just these ones you've raised. We have over the last week looked at, for example, what took place over the weekend in the WFI. We've gone into depth in that. So today, if we are choosing to talk about Ram Mandir, if you are coming on board knowing that that is the issue, there's no deceit taking place here. You knew this was the issue that we are discussing, and we are asking you only simply, sir, about, again, something you knew that was going to take place, what the Congress has to say, and the more interesting question that we're trying to get into, because we're not trying to target the opposition here, sir. We're trying to understand how do the complex dynamics, for example, of an INDIA play out, where you have the CPIM saying they're not going to come, but you have other parties saying we do want to. INDIA has said beautifully that they stand for all of India, sir. That's a beautiful, beautiful idea. We're trying to understand how does that play out. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, sir.
No, it is not. I commend you for your articulation and a very persuasively put question. I have answered point blank in a very clear manner that we believe that faith is an individual agenda in India, and these other things are national agenda. We are not discussing among India Alliance how people are going to practice their faith and how are they going to be part of the celebration of Ram temple. Everyone will visit the temple when they want, with their family, without the camera in the temple, without the propaganda in the background, without pointing finger that Mr. Mishra is not a true Hindu because he is not going on Muhurat, or Mr. Ragi is not a true Hindu because he is not going on Muhurat. Even LK Advani is not going on Muhurat. Even Murli Manohar
Right. We've talked about that. We've talked about that.
We are not going to create these false narratives. We are saying that we will practice our faith with full celebration, with our family, with all our joys, without the political propaganda behind it. But BJP wants the political propaganda. That is where the difference arises.
Okay. Mr. Tiwari, stay with us. Let's go over to the two other speakers we have, because I haven't gone over to them and I've not given them enough time. Professor Sangeet Kumar Ragi, if I could ask you to respond, I'm even going to come to the BJP's Dr. Kaushal Kant. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, but I do want to go to the professor first. Professor, go ahead.
I think that the question that you had before Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari of physics, but he was answering as if it was a chemistry paper. So the question was all about Ram Temple and why the Samajwadi Party, and what is the response of Samajwadi Party and its allies, including the Congress Party. But he talked about all rest issues. They are important, as you said. Important is that which Kaushal says, Muhurt. Suppose that I don't attend your marriage without any reason, and I visit your house 10 days after. So then you will be having grudges why you didn't attend my marriage party. So there is importance of Muhurta. It's a historical moment. It is a liberation. It is the day of liberation of a temple which was destroyed 500 years back by the invaders, and the Pran Pratishtha has a special significance. And the Pran Pratishtha, the date and time of the Pran Pratishtha has been decided not by the political masters but by the Pandits who know this this wisdom, and therefore you don't question that why right now, why not sometime else. That can be a political question, and important is that why Congress and other allies are in a state of disarray. They know it, that this is going to give a political mileage to the BJP. They have a fear, because the BJP had committed, always have been committed to the Ram temple, and it is coming true. Now the people, the sentiments of the people, the Hindus as well as those who are not radical Muslims, even they are part of this celebration. Only those who are radical in mind, like Asauddin Owaisi, they would be saying that masjid tha, masjid hai, or taumr masjid rahega, and a time will come. There is also one segment of the society which says that let us multiply. If we multiply in number, a time will come when we will outnumber the Hindus, and then we will get back again this mosque. So this kind of also the attitude and the mindset is working in the society, in certain section of society. It is not very dominant. It is not very dominant at all. It is seeding within a certain section of society.
But that's a deeply problematic suggestion, right? Especially because
because I would not have said so, because this has already come in public domain. Some of the political leaders from the particular community have already made this.
So one or two leaders making 10 leaders making that comment doesn't speak for an entire community.
That's fine. That there are people from the organization. Would you accept that? Coming from the Muslim Personal Law Board, members are articulating this kind of attitude.
So again, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference.
Important point is that all issues are important. But today you had come to discuss Ram Temple, Mr. Tiwari. You are not here to discuss the inflation. On inflation, on unemployment, there has been talk, and we always have been talking on the inflation. We all been talking on the unemployment. We have been talking on China. We have been talking on the border issues. Today you knew it very well that Congress party statements have come on the Ram temple. Samajwadi party statements have come on Ram temple. We are discussing in that manner. Unfortunately, the framework of the Harvard cannot understand the framework of India. This is the problem.
Professor,
and that is why
let me just ask you to wait
that
with
is
us.
That is why the people sitting 10,000 miles away from India, Sam Pitroda is saying that the Prime Minister is going temple to temple.
Professor, 1 second. Let me just go over to Dr. Kaushal Kant Mishra, spokesperson for the BJP. I want to shift this debate entirely for a second, Dr. Mishra, and ask you something that almost turns this on top of its head. Sir, I want to ask you, do you think it's possible that the INDIA, by not answering this question, by showing that this question is being asked again and again, is perhaps trying to make a salient point that the agenda is being shifted? What do I mean when I say that, sir? The Congress just announced their Nyaya Yatra dates. We know that the Congress's central issue again and again has been inflation, has been unemployment. Sir, do you think that by not making it clear whether or not they will attend, they are in fact trying to get the public's focus back to those issues, the issues that say actually matter?
So yeah, about Congress, I can only say that whenever there is an issue of Ram or Ram Mandir, the Congress is always create a hindrance. But I will come back to my friend Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. He says, and I will show you the hypocrisy of Samajwadi Party, not him, but Samajwadi Party. Caste is a social reality, but religion, especially Hindu religion, is social stigma. It is not reality. What a great concept of society. Second, Mr. Tiwari has said so many things, but what about Swami Prasad Maurya, who is publishing some new Ramcharit Manas under the leadership of Akhilesh Yadav? Why he is keeping mum about that? And after the Priyank Khadge's statement against the Sanatan Dharma, show me any statement by Akhilesh Yadav ji criticizing them, or any statement by any Indi Gathbandhan people who because Salman Khurshid says ISIS and Boko Haram,
Okay, so
to the Hindus.
quick counter question to you there. I'm going to allow you to continue. No, sir, I'm not stopping you.
No,
Doctor,
please,
I'm
please.
not stopping you. 1 second.
Yes.
I do want to ask
Yes,
you
please.
though. To what the INDI has said, which is that every faction of ours is allowed their own answer. We don't need to answer to what the DMK is saying. They have a different political ideology that is down south in Tamil Nadu. We don't need to answer for that. To that, sir, what is the BJP's problem?
But that is what now. So yeah, that is what the real answer is. They have opened a Mohabbat ki dukaan in which the salesman is like DMK. Salesman is IUML. I don't know whether you know about IUML about not or not. What is their agenda in that Kerala? They have bring out the big rally saying kill Hindus and hang them in their temple. If these type of statement people are their salesmen, then where is the Mohabbat ki dukaan of
Okay,
Congress?
all right.
That
Let's go back to Ghanshyam Tiwari ji for a second.
But
1 second, because we just have a minute left. Mr. Tiwari, I do want to ask you, and that is actually why we began this entire debate in the first place. When you had those comments come out from Udyanidhi Stalin, we saw for the first time the INDI not being on the same page when it came to seeing the same picture. So more and more over the next few months, do you see this being a problem for the alliance? Different factions, different branches making statements and parties being called to be held accountable for them?
Well, I believe that if BJP looks at this from a conflicting lens, they will find it problematic. But when you look at it from the fact that India is a diversity of thought, we come together, we discuss, we debate. We are not a country where government will throw out 140 members of parliament because a home minister is not willing to take responsibility of terrorism-like attacks on the parliament.
I'll ask you to let him speak, please. Please go ahead, Mr. Tiwari.
Terrorist attacks on the parliament, where the home minister is not willing to speak, and yet they will pass laws that will affect everyone in the future generation, especially a criminal justice system. We don't believe in that kind of dictatorial model. We believe in democracy. People will use their social experience to represent their way of faith. It may come in the way of politics. It may give some browning points to BJP, because BJP has a single-minded agenda. Their agenda is that your child will not have jobs, but they have to be a devoted, blind person of faith. And our agenda is your child must have job, whatever their viewpoint is.